Oh, konta. Let's talk about some nerdy shit. AI rendering, the thing that was supposed to replace architects, artists, visualization studios, and probably human civilization by last Tuesday. And honestly, some of it is impressive. A few years ago, generating a realistic architectural render from a rough model sounded impossible. Now you can throw a screenshot into ChatGPT or Gemini, type a prompt, and 30 seconds later, the AI gave you something that looks like it belongs in an overpriced architecture competition board. Until you actually look at it closely. Because then you notice the doors open into walls, the staircase disappears into another dimension, and somehow the windows don't line up with the floor plans. AI rendering, architects versus AI hallucinations. So this video is basically a follow-up to my previous AI rendering video. Back then I talked about how AI tools were becoming genuinely useful for architectural visualization. And they are, but after working with them longer, I realized there's still a massive difference between making a pretty image and accurately representing a design. And unfortunately, architecture still has this annoying requirement where the building eventually has to exist in the real world. So today I want to talk about the actual limitations of AI rendering tools, how I use them in my workflow, where they completely fall apart, and why I still don't think AI is replacing designers anytime soon. I've been testing tools like ChatGPT, Gemini, and previously Sora for architectural rendering workflows, and to be fair, they're extremely good at atmosphere. Lighting, great. Texture, usually decent. Mood, cinematic. But precision, that's where things start collapsing.
Julian!
Because AI doesn't really understand architecture. It predicts architecture-looking pixels based on probability. That means it consistently hallucinates details that were never part of your design. You'll give it a clean model with 3 windows and suddenly there are 5. You carefully design a curtain wall system and the AI decides your client actually wants a luxury car. The problem is that architectural visualization isn't just art, it's communication. The render has to match the plans, the sections, the details, the BIM model, and eventually reality. Because contractors are going to build from the drawings. Cost estimators are going to calculate budgets from the drawings, and clients are going to approve projects based on the render, sometimes drawings also, but not everyone can easily visualize a 3D space based only on a 2D drawing. That's where the renders come in combination with 3D physical or digital models. So if your AI render starts inventing geometry that doesn't exist, you're not being creative. You're accidentally doing fraud with extra steps. People outside the industry think AI rendering is faster because you just type prompts. That sounds true until you actually try using it professionally. Then you suddenly spend 40 minutes reprompting a door handle, another hour trying to stop the AI from generating fake structural beams, and your afternoon disappears because the building keeps growing random balconies like architectural cancer. At some point you realize it would have been faster to just fix it manually, and that's where the AI starts having a mental breakdown. Architects need continuity, AI wants vibe. Those are not the same things. In the previous video, I mentioned that designers still need image editing programs, and I stand by that completely. I use Affinity instead of Photoshop, and honestly I recommend it because unlike Adobe, Affinity still behaves like a software and not an emotionally manipulative subscription hostage situation.
This is a very unhealthy relationship.
Not sponsored, I just enjoy programs that don't slowly evolve into malware, and it's free.
Welcome to Affinity. Creative freedom, free forever.
But regardless of what software you use, editing is still necessary because AI gets details wrong constantly. Sometimes the render looks correct at first glance, but then you zoom in and realize a chair has 6 legs and the staircase violates several laws of physics. So most workflows becomes 1. Generate base image, 2. Fix AI mistakes manually, 3. Pretend this was efficient. The workflow does become more efficient if you already have a render model set up in Inkscape, Lumion, Twinmotion, or whatever render program you used. Then you can just let the AI touch up lighting and give the render more of a cinematic feel. So you're technically using it for post-processing in Affinity or Photoshop, but that's more for the sales shot when the design has been fully finalized. Don't sell a client the AI images as the final product without a disclaimer, and if there's measurements attached to the image, they're most likely wrong. That's why CAD and BIM plans exist. The majority of the time, the proportions are going to be off in the AI render. I think people confuse visualization with design. Rendering is only one tiny part of architecture. The AI can generate an image, cool, but can it coordinate consultants, solve construction details, understand regulations, deal with clients changing their minds 17 times? No, it's just generating pretty images. And honestly, architecture has survived technological panic before. People thought AutoCAD would replace architects, then BIM arrived, then parametric design, now AI. But what actually happens is the workflow evolves. Hand drafting didn't disappear because drawing became useless. It disappeared because digital tools became faster. But you still use it in combination with physical models to think through your designs. Same thing here. So the old-fashioned way of working still applies. AI rendering is not replacing architectural thinking, it's just another tool speeding up one part of the process.
Why you bully me? You fucking bitch, why you bully me? Everyone asking.
Despite all this bullying, I do still use AI rendering, just differently. Instead of treating it as a final render generator, I use it more like a conceptual sketch tool. Recently, I've started combining AI renders with my own sketches and digital painting workflow. Basically, I create the composition, generate rough atmosphere, use the AI output as a color layer, then paint and edit over it manually. And honestly, that workflow feels way more useful because clients understand it's conceptual, it still feels human, and it doesn't overpromise realism. And fixing mistakes manually is often faster than endlessly prompting the AI into submission. There's also something important about preserving a human touch in architectural representation. People genuinely respond to hand sketches, textures, imperfections, and artistic interpretations. Perfect AI images can actually become a problem because clients start assuming, oh great, so this is exactly what I'm getting. Meanwhile, the design development hasn't even started yet. So overall, I think AI rendering is a genuinely useful tool. It's fast, it's great, sometimes even accidentally helpful, but right now it's best used as an assistant, not as a designer. Because eventually architect leaves the screen and becomes an actual building, and when that happens, reality suddenly becomes very interested in accuracy. AI rendering, architects versus AI hallucinations. Anyway, I hope this gave you a deeper insight into my AI rendering workflow, the limitations I've run into, and why I still think human designers are safe for now. If you're interested in other AEC topics, just check out a video on the channel, and thank you for watching. Till next time.